Kevin Stefanski just accidentally exposed himself, and what he revealed could be devastating for the Cleveland Browns' future. On the surface, it looked like another tough loss in a long, frustrating season, a game where mistakes piled up and the scoreboard told one story. But the story nobody's talking about is the chaos behind the scenes, the subtle ways a coach's decisions, or indecisions, can make or break a rookie quarterback's career. And in this case, the quarterback in question is Shedeur Sanders, a fifth-round rookie with all the talent and poised to be the franchise leader Cleveland has been searching for. It all started with a wristband, a simple tool every quarterback uses to read plays on the field, and yet, in the first quarter against the Bears, it became a symbol of everything going wrong. Shedeur sprinted to the sideline, visibly confused, after realizing his wristband didn't have the right plays. The result? A delay of game penalty, setting the tone for what could have been a historic comeback. When reporters asked head coach Kevin Stefanski about the incident, his answers were vague and confusing. Something about miscommunication, maybe something got on the wristband. Meanwhile, Shedeur gave a straightforward answer. The card just fell out. Two completely different explanations for the same event, and both expose a much bigger problem. Was this a minor mistake, or is it part of a pattern of setting a young quarterback up to fail? Because this wasn't just about one lost drive or a malfunctioning wristband. This was a rookie quarterback, in only his fourth NFL start, being tested in the most high-pressure environment imaginable. And while most rookies might crumble under the pressure, Shedeur stayed calm, focused, and ready to lead. That's the stark contrast in this story. The head coach, supposedly in charge of developing talent and managing a team, seemed more concerned with protecting his own reputation than giving his quarterback the support he desperately needed. And it wasn't just a one-time slip. It's part of a worrying pattern that's been building all season, a series of decisions, excuses, and vague answers that now look like sabotage. Shedeur Sanders has already shown flashes of brilliance. He's one of the few rookies putting up numbers that rival established stars. And yet, the narrative surrounding him has been clouded by a coach who refuses to answer critical questions, who dodges accountability, and who has now, through a single press conference, revealed more about his priorities than he probably intended. Every fan, analyst, and insider watching knew that Shedeur deserved better, but seeing it unfold live, watching the confusion, the mixed messages, and the missed opportunities, it was a wake-up call. So here's the question. Is this just miscommunication, or is it a deliberate pattern? And if the latter is true, what does it mean for the Browns, their future, and the quarterback who may already be their franchise cornerstone? By the end of this video, you're going to see why fans are calling for Kevin Stefanski to be fired, why social media is exploding, and why Shedeur Sanders, despite a chaotic season, is showing more leadership, accountability, and fearlessness than his own head coach. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to stay locked in on all the latest NFL drama, make sure you hit that like button. It helps the video reach more people who love this content just like you. And if you're new here, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss another update, reaction, or storyline as it unfolds in real time. I also want to hear from you in the comments. What do you think about Shedeur Sanders' performance and the Browns' collapse? Drop your thoughts below and let's talk about it. And don't forget to share this video with friends who follow the NFL. Your support truly keeps the channel moving forward. This isn't just a story about one bad game. It's a story about sabotage, opportunity, and the making of a true franchise quarterback. The chaos started before the first quarter had even ended. Shedeur Sanders, just in his fourth NFL start, sprinted to the sideline with a look of pure confusion. His wristband, the very tool designed to keep him organized and ready, wasn't working. Plays were missing. Timing was off. The result? A delay of game penalty, one of the simplest mistakes in football turned into a glaring symbol of mismanagement. On live television, fans at home were scratching their heads. Analysts were confused. And Shedeur? He stayed calm, collected, and determined to keep his team in the game. But the wristband incident was just the beginning of a story that would reveal far more than a simple game day error. When reporters asked Kevin Stefanski what happened, his answers were, to put it mildly, confusing. "Yeah, there was something. I don't know if the wristband got something on it or whatever it was, but we got it fixed pretty quickly," he said. Something got on the wristband, a spilled drink, a mysterious stain. No one knew. Meanwhile, Shedeur told a completely different story. The card simply fell out. No excuses, no elaborate miscommunication, just a rookie trying to manage a mistake and move forward. Two versions, two narratives, and one glaring fact. Either the coaching staff was lying, or they genuinely sent their young quarterback onto the field unprepared. And this wasn't a minor hiccup. The first quarter of a crucial game is the foundation for everything that follows. Shedeur was trying to prove himself, trying to earn the trust of his team and the city, and instead, he was thrown into chaos because the plays weren't where they were supposed to be. Delay of game penalties in the NFL aren't just points off the board. They're momentum killers, confidence crushers, and in Shedeur's case, a preview of how the rest of the game would unfold. But what makes this moment truly shocking isn't just the wristband itself. It's what it reveals about the environment Shedeur is being placed in. This is a rookie quarterback with franchise potential, yet he's being set up with obstacles that go far beyond normal growing pains. The tools he needs to succeed aren't being fully provided. And the person responsible for managing that environment, the head coach, gives answers that are vague, non-committal, and almost apologetic, as if he's hiding something or shielding himself from blame. Fans noticed immediately. Social media exploded with commentary about the so-called wristband fiasco. Analysts began asking the real questions. How does a quarterback with a card falling out of his wristband still manage to deliver a near-record performance? And how long can a rookie continue to thrive under these conditions before cracks appear not in his talent, but in the structure that's supposed to support him? In that moment, the wristband became more than a game tool. It became a symbol of everything Shedeur has had to overcome this season. Confusion, mismanagement, and questionable decisions have marked his early NFL career, yet he continues to push forward with maturity beyond his years. And if the first quarter of this game was any indication, it also highlighted a pattern that would define not just this game, but the controversy that has fans calling for change. Because the truth is clear. Whether it was miscommunication, human error, or something far more deliberate, the wristband incident exposed a deeper issue. A young quarterback left to navigate chaos while the person responsible for guiding him offered only vague explanations. And as the game progressed, that chaos would only escalate. After the wristband chaos, most teams would regroup, settle the quarterback, and adjust their approach. But for the Browns under Kevin Stefanski, the mismanagement didn't stop there. Shedeur Sanders, despite showing flashes of brilliance, was forced to navigate not just a tough Bears defense but questionable coaching decisions that would define the second half of the game. And while Shedeur continued to fight on the field, Stefanski's play calls seemed determined to sabotage the momentum rather than harness it. Let's break down the key moments. Shedeur had already put together a phenomenal performance, nearly 400 all-purpose yards, 4 touchdowns, and just 1 interception. On paper, it was a game worthy of praise, yet critical moments revealed a troubling pattern. Late in the fourth quarter, with the Browns trailing by 2, Shedeur leads a scoring drive that cuts the deficit to 2 points. The conventional move would be to kick a field goal, tie the game, and set up overtime, a safe, logical decision. Instead, Stefanski opts for a 2-point conversion. It fails. The Browns go 3-and-out on the next possession, and then, even after Shedeur scores another touchdown, Stefanski repeats the same mistake, another failed 2-point attempt. Simple math, simple strategy, yet it's ignored, and the Browns lose by 2 points. It's not just the end-of-game decisions that raise eyebrows. During the game, interceptions became a focal point. Shedeur threw 3, but Stefanski's handling of the questions afterward was revealing. When asked about the first 2, he gave vague, non-committal answers. "We know that team is good at taking the ball away. We'll learn from those." Yet when the reporter mentioned the one that got ripped from Jerry Jeudy's hands, Stefanski quickly defended the play, saying the defender made a good play. Why defend one immediately while glossing over the others? It highlights a pattern. Shedeur takes the blame by default, while others get protection. Every fan watching could see it. A rookie quarterback performing at near elite levels, yet being undermined by decisions from the sideline. The two-point conversion choices, the lack of clear answers about interceptions, and the repeated mismanagement of critical game situations all point to a coach more focused on optics than on developing his young quarterback. Momentum killers like failed plays in crucial moments can crush confidence, especially for a fifth-round rookie trying to prove he belongs in the NFL. What's even more striking is Shedeur's resilience. Despite mismanagement, penalties, and questionable coaching decisions, he continued to lead, to fight, and to make plays. It's the kind of performance that should earn trust, praise, and clear support from a head coach. Yet, in Stefanski's approach, the rookie was left to navigate these high-pressure moments largely alone, while the coach deflected responsibility and framed struggles as ups and downs of a young player. By the time the game ended, it was obvious to everyone paying attention. Shedeur had delivered a near-flawless personal performance under impossible circumstances, while the coaching staff repeatedly made decisions that hampered the team's chance to win. And for fans, analysts, and insiders alike, this wasn't just bad luck. It was a clear pattern of mismanagement, miscommunication, and potentially deliberate poor decision-making that now defines Kevin Stefanski's tenure as head coach. After the game, the press conference revealed far more than the scoreboard ever could. Kevin Stefanski, the head coach of the Browns, sat before reporters, and every answer he gave, or didn't give, shined a spotlight on exactly how he views Shedeur Sanders and his role on this team. What should have been a straightforward discussion about a rookie quarterback's development quickly became a masterclass in vague deflection and avoidance. And for fans watching closely, it only confirmed what many already suspected. There's a pattern here, and it isn't pretty. When asked about the wristband incident that caused a first-quarter delay of game, Stefanski gave the kind of answer that leaves more questions than it answers. Yeah, there was something. I don't know if the wristband got something on it or whatever it was, but we got that fixed pretty quickly, he said. Something got on it? Or did the card just fall out, as Shedeur later clarified? The conflicting accounts make the situation confusing, but one thing is clear. The rookie quarterback was put in a difficult spot, and the explanation from the coach did little to inspire confidence. Then came the interceptions. Shedeur threw 3, and while some were unforced, others were the result of excellent defensive plays by the Bears. When reporters asked Stefanski about these mistakes, he repeatedly gave nonspecific answers, framing them as learning opportunities. We know that team is good at taking the ball away. We'll learn from those. Yet, when asked about the one that got ripped from Jerry Jeudy's hands, he immediately defended the play, saying the defender made a good move. The message was clear. Shedeur takes the blame by default, while others are defended instantly. Stefanski's reluctance to address mistakes extended beyond single plays. When asked if it was a mistake to not start Shedeur earlier in the season, he completely dodged the question. Yeah, I'm not going to get into that. This is critical. A coach who truly believed in his decisions would have explained them. He would have justified why Shedeur wasn't ready or why other QBs were given a chance first. Instead, Stefanski avoided accountability, leaving fans, players, and the media with the impression that the rookie was being set up to fail, while the coach shielded his own reputation. Even when discussing Shedeur's development, Stefanski framed every challenge as an inevitable up and down of a young player, ignoring the fact that many of those struggles were directly influenced by coaching decisions, lack of first-team reps, and earlier mismanagement. And yet, despite the deflection, one of the most genuine statements came when he acknowledged that Shedeur is fighting like crazy to try to help us win. Even then, it sounded more like surprise than admiration, as if Stefanski didn't fully expect the rookie to step up. The press conference made one thing unmistakably clear. Shedeur Sanders has shown poise, accountability, and leadership far beyond his years, while his head coach repeatedly avoided responsibility, gave vague excuses, and allowed questionable decisions to dictate the flow of games. For fans paying attention, this was more than just a post-game briefing. It was a roadmap of exactly why Shedeur's talent has been underutilized, mismanaged, and in some cases, actively undermined. Once you look past the wristband incident and the questionable play calls, a pattern starts to emerge, one that paints a much darker picture of how Kevin Stefanski has been managing Shedeur Sanders' rookie season. This isn't just one bad decision or a single chaotic game. It's a series of choices that suggest a deliberate, or at the very least negligent, approach to the development of a quarterback with clear franchise potential. It started at the very beginning of the season. Stefanski began with Joe Flacco as the starter, a veteran who was always a stopgap, then moved to Dillon Gabriel. When Gabriel got injured, Shedeur was thrust into the spotlight with 0 first-team reps and no real preparation. He struggled at first, 4 completions for 16 attempts, 47 yards, and an interception against the Ravens, but the narrative Stefanski could spin was simple. He wasn't ready. By keeping Shedeur on the sidelines for most of the early season, the coach created a scenario where any struggle could be blamed on the rookie, not on coaching decisions or lack of preparation. Then came Shedeur's starts. In his first few games, he showed flashes of brilliance, putting up 722 passing yards and 5 touchdowns in just 3 games, the most among all rookie quarterbacks in that span. He became the only rookie alongside Joe Burrow to record at least 350 passing yards, 3 touchdown passes, and a rushing touchdown in a single game. Yet instead of celebrating these performances, the narrative was twisted. Every mistake, every interception, framed as inevitable growing pains. Meanwhile, the coach's prior decisions that forced those ups and downs were conveniently ignored. The wristband fiasco against the Bears was just the latest example. A simple tool, a card of plays, became a symbol of mismanagement and, to some fans, sabotage. Shedeur was sent onto the field unprepared, forced to react in real time while the game clock ran down. Combine that with repeated questionable play calls, failed 2-point attempts, and vague explanations after mistakes, and the pattern becomes unmistakable. It's as if the rookie quarterback is constantly being tested, not for growth, but for scapegoat purposes. Fans noticed immediately. Social media exploded with posts calling for Stefanski to be fired. One fan wrote, "Shedeur Sanders is being sacked by his own coaching staff. Not only is Stefanski sabotaging Sanders, he's ensuring his own career longevity over the team's success." Another highlighted how Stefanski refused to answer whether or not starting Shedeur earlier was a mistake, yet earlier had justified starting Dillon Gabriel with excuses that weren't true. The pattern is there. Protect your reputation, shift blame to the rookie, and maintain control over the narrative. And it's not just a single game or incident. This pattern spans weeks of questionable decisions, missed opportunities, and mismanagement. Shedeur's talent, maturity, and resilience continue to shine despite these obstacles, which only makes the contrast more stark. The rookie's development is being hindered, his confidence challenged unnecessarily, and the coach remains untouchable, at least for now. But fans, analysts, and insiders can clearly see the blueprint. Shedeur Sanders isn't just surviving under this pressure. He's thriving, proving that he has the leadership, accountability, and talent to be a franchise quarterback. And that, more than anything, makes Kevin Stefanski's choices look like sabotage, whether intentional or not. The wristband wasn't a fluke. The failed 2-point attempts weren't isolated. They're part of a pattern that shows the rookie has had to fight for every inch of success while his coach shields himself from blame. Amid the chaos, confusion, and questionable decisions from Kevin Stefanski, one thing became crystal clear. Shedeur Sanders is showing a level of maturity and leadership that far exceeds his years, or his position as a rookie quarterback. While most 23-year-olds would be frustrated, overwhelmed, or even shaken after being thrust into the middle of mismanagement and chaos, Shedeur remained calm, focused, and accountable, proving why he might already be the Browns' franchise quarterback. Take the wristband incident, for example. On the first drive, the plays on his wristband were missing, leading to a delay of game. For most rookies, that would be demoralizing. For Shedeur, it was simply a moment to adjust, adapt, and keep moving. When reporters later asked about it, he didn't deflect blame or make excuses. "Oh no, the card just fell out, that was it," he said plainly. No drama, no pointing fingers, no excuses, just honesty. That single statement says more about his character than any stat line could. It shows he's focused on the game, not the narrative, and that he's willing to take responsibility for what he can control. Contrast that with Stefanski's vague and confusing answers, which left fans, media, and even players questioning the coach's priorities. Shedeur's ability to stay composed in that environment is a hallmark of true leadership, but it doesn't stop at handling mistakes. Even after throwing 3 interceptions in a game, a performance many rookies would see as catastrophic, he took full accountability. "We got a loss, so that's not good. I didn't do good." No whining about the offensive line, no complaints about the Bears' defense, no excuses about being a rookie, just accountability. Then there's his mindset about fear and pressure. In one interview, when asked how he approaches the high-stakes NFL environment, Shedeur said, "You could lose your job at any point in time, so you don't play with fear. When you live and play in fear, you'll never be yourself. I live each moment and try to live each day to the fullest." That's a 23-year-old rookie talking like a seasoned leader, someone who understands that success comes from preparation, focus, and mental toughness, not worrying about what others might do to hold you back. What makes this even more remarkable is the context. Shedeur is performing under a head coach who has repeatedly failed to support him fully, who has made decisions that could have undermined his confidence, and who has left him to navigate mistakes without clear guidance. Yet Shedeur continues to lead by example, showing resilience, accountability, and a calm confidence that inspires teammates rather than creating tension. Every throw, every response to reporters, and every action on the field reinforces a central fact. Shedeur Sanders is demonstrating the leadership qualities of a franchise quarterback. He is unshakable in the face of adversity, unafraid to take responsibility, and determined to keep growing despite circumstances beyond his control. Meanwhile, the coach who is supposed to guide him has only highlighted how much more leadership the rookie has. In the end, Shedeur's maturity isn't just impressive, it's a stark contrast to the man tasked with developing him. And if the Browns are wise, they'll recognize that their future doesn't lie in the sidelines chaos of Kevin Stefanski, but in the calm, fearless, and accountable hands of Shedeur Sanders. Beyond the wristband fiasco, the failed 2-point conversions, and the press conference dodges, the bigger story is happening behind the scenes in Cleveland. The Browns' organization is at a crossroads, and every decision about Kevin Stefanski and his staff has ripple effects that could define the franchise's future. According to ESPN Cleveland's Tony Rizzo, owner Jimmy Haslam has yet to decide whether Stefanski and GM Andrew Berry will return next season. That uncertainty is critical because it shapes the behavior of everyone involved, especially the coach whose job is on the line. Think about it. When a coach knows his position is unstable, every game becomes a high-stakes negotiation between self-preservation and team success. If things go wrong, the easiest scapegoat is often the rookie quarterback. In this case, Shedeur Sanders, a 5th-round pick with undeniable talent, finds himself in the crosshairs of a system more concerned with protecting reputations than developing stars. Stefanski started the season with Joe Flacco, moved to Dylan Gabriel, and only turned to Shedeur after the rookie demonstrated flashes of brilliance. Yet Shedeur's early struggles were used as justification for the delayed start, creating a scenario where he could succeed or fail. But the coach remained untouchable either way. This isn't speculation. It's visible in the pattern of mismanagement. Shedeur was brought in cold against the Ravens with 0 first-team reps and unsurprisingly struggled. Then, in his next starts, he tore up defenses, putting up 722 passing yards and 5 touchdowns in 3 games, outperforming every other rookie QB in the league. Still, Stefanski's narrative framed every misstep as ups and downs, rather than acknowledging his own role in the development process. Social media erupted. Fans noticed. Analysts noticed. And now, even ownership is watching closely, weighing the consequences of a coach whose agenda may not align with the team's future. The stakes are enormous. A rookie quarterback with franchise potential is showing leadership, accountability, and fearlessness, yet he's being tested in ways most players never are. Mismanaged wristbands, questionable game-time decisions, and vague answers to critical questions aren't just coaching mistakes. their organizational liabilities. Every misstep, every delayed call, every avoided question compounds, creating a perception that the leadership structure may be actively hindering the team's most promising asset. Meanwhile, Shedeur remains the constant. His calm, focused approach contrasts sharply with the uncertainty around him. While the coach navigates his own career insecurity, Shedeur is learning, adapting, and performing at a level that suggests he is already thinking like a leader of a franchise. The organizational backdrop makes this even more impressive. He isn't just playing football. He's thriving in a system where the people tasked with guiding him are simultaneously protecting themselves and dodging accountability. In the end, the Browns are facing a critical choice. They have a quarterback who could define the next decade of the franchise, and they have a coach whose actions increasingly suggest his priority is self-preservation, not player development. Ownership's decision, coupled with the team's management of coaching and talent, will determine whether Shedeur Sanders can reach his potential or continue to navigate obstacles placed in his path. The story isn't just on the field. It's happening in the boardrooms and press conferences, and the consequences are already being felt. After watching the season unfold, after analyzing the wristband fiasco, the failed two-point conversions, and the press conference evasions, one thing is undeniable. Shedeur Sanders is showing more leadership, maturity, and accountability than the very coach tasked with developing him. In just 4 starts, a 5th-round rookie has proven that he can perform under pressure, take responsibility for mistakes, and maintain focus even when the system around him is failing. Meanwhile, Kevin Stefanski has consistently deflected blame, made questionable decisions, and left his quarterback navigating chaos at every turn. The contrast couldn't be clearer, and the implications for the Browns are enormous. Shedeur has faced mismanagement head-on. Delayed starts, lack of first-team reps, an unstable offensive line, and even malfunctioning wristbands in crucial moments. Most rookies would struggle under this pressure, but Shedeur has not only survived, he's thrived. Nearly 400 all-purpose yards in one game, multiple touchdowns, and a level of accountability rare even among veterans. These are signs of a true franchise quarterback. And yet, the very person who should be nurturing that talent has repeatedly placed obstacles in his path, whether through poor game-time decisions, vague explanations after mistakes, or by dodging accountability in critical press conferences. The pattern is hard to ignore. From the beginning of the season, Stefanski's decisions have shaped the narrative around Shedeur in a way that protects the coach more than the player. By delaying Shedeur's starts, he created room to criticize and excuse any struggles. By avoiding clear answers about key mistakes, he preserved his own reputation while leaving the rookie exposed. By making questionable strategic calls at crucial moments, he limited the team's chances to win and undermined the momentum of an already talented young quarterback. It's a pattern that many fans, analysts, and insiders are now recognizing, and it has sparked an overwhelming call for change. And that's why this isn't just about one game, one wristband, or one press conference. This is about the future of the Cleveland Browns and the development of a potential franchise quarterback. Shedeur Sanders has the skills, the mindset, and the resilience to be a leader of this team for years to come. What he doesn't need is a coach more focused on self-preservation than player growth. Every fan watching knows that supporting the player who carries your future is more important than protecting a coach whose decisions are putting that future at risk. So here's the call to action. Pay attention, demand accountability, and recognize the talent in front of you. Shedeur Sanders deserves a system that empowers him, coaches who guide rather than hinder, and a city that rallies behind its quarterback instead of excuses mismanagement. The wristband mishaps, the press conference dodges, and the questionable play calls aren't isolated. They're part of a bigger story. And the fans have a voice in shaping that story. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Share your take on Stefanski's role in this season. And most importantly, subscribe to stay updated, because this isn't just about one rookie or one coach. It's about the making of a franchise and the fight to ensure Shedeur Sanders gets the support he deserves. The time to act is now, before another promising quarterback season is sabotaged from within.
If you enjoyed today's breakdown and want to keep up with all the drama, trades, and behind-the-scenes action in the NFL, then don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps this channel grow and lets us know you love this kind of content. And hey, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with your friends, your group chats, or anyone who loves football as much as you do. The more the conversation spreads, the better it gets. Most importantly, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel and tap the notification bell. That way, you'll never miss when we drop fresh stories, wild rumors, or breaking updates that the mainstream media won't talk about.